Peace. I pray you all are in good spirits as you are settling in to watch this. In this series, we're going to be diving into the book of Second Baruch. We're going to attempt to read it from front to back, cover to cover. Of course, not in this video, but in this series of videos. Now, I know a lot of people have read First Baruch or have read the book of Baruch, which is in the Apocrypha. It's in the red book. And if you haven't, you should. But Second Baruch, it's a totally different book. Certainly related, but it's a totally different book. There's so much information coming out from this book, and it's so pivotal because the premise of this book starts in a time very similar to the time that we're in now. The overthrowing of the overthrowing of Jerusalem. The Most High was speaking to Baruch and Jeremiah right before he overthrew Jerusalem. But basically, it's similar to times that we're moving into. But anyway, without further ado, this is Second Baruch, chapter 1, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 25th year of Jeconiah, king of Judah, that the word of the Most High came to Baruch, the son of Neriah, and said to him, "Have you seen all that this people are doing to me? That the evils which these two tribes which remained have done are greater than those of the 10 tribes which were carried away captive? For the former tribes were forced by their kings to commit sin. But these two themselves have been forcing and compelling their kings to commit sin. For this reason, behold, I bring evil upon this city is Jerusalem, and upon its inhabitants, and it shall be removed from before me for a time. And I will scatter this people among the Gentiles, that they may do good to the Gentiles. And my people shall be chastened, and the time shall come when they will seek for the prosperity of their times." Stand to chapter 1. So then we are definitely moving into this time where we're in a fallen Jerusalem, and we are seeking for the prosperity that we once had before. Chapter 2. For I have said these things to you, that you may bid Jeremiah and all those that are like you to retire from this city. For your works are to this city a firm pillar, and your prayers a strong wall. So because that's the end of chapter 2. So because the righteous were in the city, all their prayers and things was keeping the Most High from bringing the judgment upon the city. So he's telling Baruch to tell Jeremiah and everybody else who believe on the Most High to leave the city because your prayers are keeping me from judging it. Chapter 3. And I said, O Most High, my Lord, have I come into the world for this purpose, that I might see the evils of my mother? Not so, my Lord. If I have found grace in your sight, first take my spirit, that I may go to my fathers and not withhold the destruction of my mother. For two things vehemently constrain me. For I cannot resist you, and my soul, moreover, cannot behold the evils of my mother. The mother is Jerusalem, in case, just to put it in context. The mother that he's speaking of is Jerusalem. Verse 4. But one thing I will say in your presence, O Lord. What, therefore, will there be after these things? For if you destroy your city, and deliver up your land to those who hate us, how shall the name of Israel be again remembered? Or how shall one speak of your promises or your praises? Or to whom shall that which is in your law be explained? Or shall the world return to its nature of aforetime, and the age revert to primeval silence? And shall the multitude of souls be taken away, and the nature of man not again be named? And where is all that which And where is all that which you did say regarding us? So that's the end of chapter 3. So Baruch is speaking to the Most High, just trying to wrap his head around the destruction. Like, what's gonna happen if you destroy us? If you destroy this city, who you gonna teach your judgments to? Who gonna carry on your inheritance? Who's gonna praise you? Like, who's gonna cause the world, once it goes evil, to revert back to the time it is before? Who's gonna be you down here? Chapter 4. And the Lord said unto me, this city shall be delivered up for a time, and the people shall be chastened during a time, and the world will not be given over to oblivion. Do you think that this is that city of which I said, on the palms of my hands have I graven you? This building now built in your midst is not that which is revealed with me, that which prepared beforehand here from the time when I took counsel to make paradise, and showed Adam before he sinned. But when he transgressed the commandment, it was removed from him, as also paradise. And after these things I showed it to my servant Abraham by night among the portions of the victims. And again also I showed it to Moses on Mount Sinai, when I showed to the likeness of the tabernacle in all its vessels. And now, behold, it is preserved with me as paradise. Go, therefore, and do as I command you. That's the end of chapter 4. It was the Most High's response to Baruch. And in this response, he asked them, so do you think that the Jerusalem, or this city that's before you, is the one that I spoke of from before, the one that I prepared for before time, the one that was already here, the one that I showed Adam? That Jerusalem that you see is not the Jerusalem is not the Jerusalem. That is still with me, as with paradise. So that means he took the city of Jerusalem, he has it hidden that no one in this realm, no people can get to, can touch. It is preserved by the Most High himself, just like paradise that Adam fell out of. So he said, don't worry about me destroying Jerusalem or my heritage coming. Don't worry about none of that, because what you're looking at is not the final of anything. Chapter 5. And I answered and said, so then I am destined to grieve for Zion, for your enemies will come to this place and pollute your sanctuary, and lead your inheritance into captivity, and make themselves masters of those whom you have loved. And they will depart again to the place of their idols, and will boast before them. And what will you do for your great name? And the Lord said unto me, my name and my glory are unto all eternity, and my judgment shall maintain its rights in its own time. And you shall see with your own eyes that the enemy will not overthrow Zion, but nor shall they burn Jerusalem, but the ministers of the judge for the time. But be the ministers of the judge for the time. But do you go and do whatsoever I have said unto you. And I went and took Jeremiah and Adu and Sariah and Jabish and Gedaliah and all the honorable men of the people. And I led them to the valley of Kidron. And I narrated to them all that I had seen. And I narrated to them all that had been said to me. And they lifted up their voice, and they all wept. And we sat there and fasted until the evening. That's the end of chapter 5. This is where we're going to stop for this one. But, so after the Most High's response, Baruch, his response to the Most High's response was asking, like, so there's nothing that could be done except for grieving for my people. Like, I have to see all of this destruction. I have to see our enemies come and take over. I have to see your sanctuaries polluted. It's my destiny to see that. And the Most High said, again, don't worry. My glory is for eternity. And it's not the enemies that's gonna overthrow it. They're not gonna burn the city, they're not gonna overthrow it. They're just gonna be the judge for a little bit. And that's what they have been. Just really think about it. All they have been is the judge. We think our cities are overthrown, and yeah, we were destroyed when we were taken over. But there's still a lot here that even they have not been allowed to discover or excavate and really explore. So don't think that they have the upper hand on our Creator, on our power, the Most High. The breath of life is in the power of it all. So next time in this journey through 2nd Baruch, we're going to be picking up in chapter 6. Until then.